إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي، ثم أما بعد. It seems no matter how many times I read this surah, I always come out with a new meaning. And every time I read translations, I see new perspectives. That's one of the beauties of the Quran. That's one of the miracles of the Quran, is that it speaks and is so multidimensional in its message. And the message and the vantage point that I'd like to just present today is a new one to me. So bear with me for a second. Allah Azza wa Jal in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, as he begins rarely in surah with the word wayl. This is not a very common occurrence, and it is to really strike fear. Right? This is a big word. Wayl is a big word. Wayl is to say woe, like something big. Allah Azza wa Jal, he says, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ويل للمطففين. Woe, some great thing, some catastrophe, some really big, fate awaits those who are mutaffifin. And from what I can understand, the Arabs before the surah this word wasn't commonly used in the way that Allah Azza wa Jal uses it here. And so Allah Azza wa Jal, this is not the reasoning, but Allah Azza wa Jal follows this ayah by saying, الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُخْسِرُونَ. Allah Azza wa Jal, He elaborates, He explains further. Those mutaffifin, what defines them? What is a mutaffif? Why this great fate befits, like why the punishment befits this? What are they doing? They take, when it's their time to take, they take the most they can get. And when it's their time to give, they give as miserly and as little as possible. And sometimes even cheating. But today, this is not the purpose of why I'm mentioning this. Allah Azza wa Jal describes that and He says, أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَٰئِكَ أَنَّهُمْ مَبْعُوثُونَ لِيَوْمٍ عَظِيمٍ يَوْمَ يَقُومُ النَّاسُ لِرَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. We will all stand in front of Allah Azza wa Jal one day. And Allah Azza wa Jal will ask us about our time, about our age, about our youth, what we spent it in. The wealth that Allah Azza wa Jal has given us, what we spent that in. The family, the relationships, the support system that He's given us. All of that, the knowledge He's given us. We will be asked. And so Allah Azza wa Jal gives a rhetorical questions. Do these people not think that, the bill is going to come? The bill is going to come due at some point. It feels like we have a long time, but the bill will come. And so I will jump a little bit ahead. This is dire. And whenever one is in doubt and thinks that perhaps these ayat don't apply to you, or that it doesn't apply to me, I find it very beneficial to rethink that and rethink that again. The mutaffif here is someone that when it's their time to give isn't giving the full, and when it's time to receive, they receive as much as they can. This applies to everything, not just monetary. Not just monetary transactions. This applies to my relationship with my wife. This applies to my relationship with my child. This applies with how, even when I'm driving, right? Like, am I courteous? Do I allow people to merge in the lane? Or am I always not allowing people to come in and I'm trying to be ahead every time? But when it's my turn to get in, exit off the highway, and I want to cross 3 lanes, I'm like, how come He didn't let me? SubhanAllah. And that behavior is a state of mind. It's not just transactions, brothers and sisters. It's not just transactions. And finally, it is in our relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. We ask Allah, we ask Ya Rabb, Ya Rabb, Ya Rabb, Ya Rabb, Ya Rabb, and then it comes time to pray, and it's like, and even when we take our time, are we really pondering the words that we're saying? Are we really truly with Allah Azza wa Jal? It's literally called salah, the connection that we have with Allah Azza wa Jal. SubhanAllah, from silah. Are we giving it its due? At-tafaf is in everything. It's not just monetary transactions. I want to skip though to those that have done well. to those that Allah Azza wa Jal praises and says they have done well and that there is a great reward awaiting them. Allah Azza wa Jal, midway through the surah, He says, كَلَّا إِنَّ كِتَابَ الْأَبْرَارِ لَفِي عِلِّيِّينَ. Indeed, the book, and so this is the book of deeds, right? Indeed, the book of deeds for those who are abrar, that have done well, is in illiyin. Not just the deeds themselves are highly appreciated or that they are worth a great amount. The book itself, of which contains the deeds, is in illiyin, which is to say the highest of the highest of the high. That's what illiyin, from ala, from ta'ala, high. And then Allah Azza wa Jal follows through, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا عِلِّيُّونَ. You're like, what could you possibly know about this magnificent high place? Heights that you have never in your life even imagined. That's where that book is. Just the book that contains the deeds. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, He follows and He says, إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ. Those who have done well are in na'im. Na'im from ni'mah is to say just an abundance of blessing. An absolute abundance of blessing. Okay, this is great news, and I'm interested, and I want to be a part of that group. What do these people get? Their book is in illiyin, the highest of highs. Allah Azza wa Jalla is praising them. I want to be part of them. What do they get? إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ. What are they doing? عَلَى الْأَرَائِكِ يَنْظُرُونَ. Subhanallah. Ara'ik is to say couch. I'm just going to simplify the language. Ara'ik is to say couch. And Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying, they are laying on couches, looking. It seems anticlimactic. It seems anticlimactic, doesn't it? We're talking about these people, and they're, the bad people and what they've done, and, earlier it's like really heavy messages about like what befits these people. It's difficult. And then you look at the abrar, على الأرائك ينظرون. يسقون من رحيق مختوم. Okay, there's some drinks being passed around, and it's amazing. And the language, I could quite literally spend 30 minutes describing just this one ayah and what it means. There's so much beauty in it. But you can just for simplification's sake, if you just look at what Allah Azza wa Jalla from a surface level is saying is, they're chilling, laying on couches, relaxing, looking, and drinking, sipping. On obviously مَا لَا عَيْنٍ رَأَتْ وَلَا أُذُنٌ سَمَعَتْ, like nothing any of our eyes have ever seen or dreamed of, nothing that we have ever heard or dreamed of, everything is a new experience. Everything is a new experience. So it's unique in this way, and we know that. But it still feels a bit anticlimactic, doesn't it? Only once you reflect a little bit deeper do we start to tease out the beauty therein, subhanallah, in this simplicity. I want you to imagine the best day of your life on this dunya right now. Something that happened in your life that was just the highlight of your life. The day you got married, the day you had your first child, the day you graduated, the day whatever. And I want you to think, on that day, at that high, at that climax, were you free of doubt? Were you free of fear? Allah Azza wa Jal gives, but Allah Azza wa Jal also takes away. And so even at the height of our emotion, where we feel like, oh Allah, I can't even think of the best way to ahmadak, so I'm just going to follow what you tell me, which is Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is the best I can think of how to praise you. That's how amazing I feel right now. Right? But deep inside you're like, but it could happen. Allah Azza wa Jal could take that child away from you. Allah Azza wa Jal could test me. At the height, you close the best deal of your life. Allah Azza wa Jal can take it. It's not 100% certain. It's not guaranteed, and we know that. And so, even though we are happy in this dunya, we're never fully satisfied. And so I want you to imagine for a second, being so carefree that there isn't a single doubt in your head, not a single fear, not a single nagging thing in your mind at all. Absolute bliss. Imagine what that's like. Imagine knowing that what you have is only going to get better, and there's literally zero, nothing that will take it away from you. إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ. Truly they are blessed. Wallahi they are. And so we start to get a glimpse of the meaning. But then there's another nagging thing, another nagging question that begs itself. عَلَى الْأَرَائِكِ يَنْظُرُونَ. They are chilling on couches looking at what? Looking at whom? Allah Azza wa Jal in ayahs previous, when he was talking about the kuffar and those whose fate was not so great, we know that they will be in Jahim. يَصْلَوْنَهَا يَوْمَ الدِّينِ. And so this is the state that they're in. And not just that, Allah Azza wa Jal explicitly says, they will not, these people will not get to look at Allah Azza wa Jal. They don't get the privilege of speaking with Allah Azza wa Jal. That privilege is not there. And so what the Mufassirin are saying is, just like it was stripped, that privilege was stripped from those people, as a juxtaposition in this one, the difference is that those people get to see Allah Azza wa Jal. I want you to imagine the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Forgive me. The most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Perhaps Allah Azza wa Jal blessed you with a child, and the first time you see them, how moving that is. And then compare that and think for a second what that emotion is like if you were to see Allah Azza wa Jal, the Creator, the most magnificent being that has ever been, that will ever be, the most magnificent thing ever. إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ. Those who have done well are truly blessed. They're truly blessed. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us one of them. Ya Rabbi. Say Amin. إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ. And then Allah Azza wa Jal describes a little bit more what it is that they're drinking, the type of drink, how amazing it is that there's pools of it, there's lakes of it, there's wells of it. It's hard to describe because we have never seen it, we can never see it. And so while there are the words in Arabic, I can't translate them and give them justice. But then Allah Azza wa Jal follows and ends this sequence, if you will, with وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسْ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. It is in this, it is for this specifically that people who compete should compete for. Allah Azza wa Jal is setting exactly what is worthy of our competition. Allah Azza wa Jal has created us all competitive. It's who we are, it's how we were created, this is just who we are. We want more, we want better. I want to have the best thing ever. This isn't a malicious thing. It's not like I want better so that he has less. That's not what it's about. That's not what Allah Azza wa Jal is discussing here. But we are competitive, we want more, constantly. And Allah Azza wa Jal is framing that drive, that need, and putting it in its rightful place. You want to compete? You have this urge to compete, you feel like you really want to compete? This is what you compete for. You want to race towards something? That's worth racing to. That's worth bending over and backwards and spending nights and overnights and sleepless nights taking care of that. That's worth our pursuit. And so now I bring it all the way back. Allah Azza wa Jal, He starts by saying, وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون. Allah Azza wa Jal says, woe to those who are mutaffifin, that take what is not theirs and don't give when they should give. What possibly drives any man to do this? What drives any person to optimize for themselves more than anything? It's that competitive nature. It's that want for more. I want to gain more. So if I take a shortcut here, I can do that. If I just, if I take a sliver off my weight and mess with the balance a little bit, I'll get my way, and I'm going to get more and more and more. And the idea is more. And so we see in the beginning, it seemed perhaps to someone like me narrow. The definition seemed narrow in the beginning, but then as you get to the end of the surah, someone like me can start to understand. Ya subhanallah. This is what we compete for. This is the big game. It's not the tiny little thing. It's not the house that you want to get, or the school you want to get into, or the job you want to get. It's not that. وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. That what Allah just described. إِنَّ الْأَبْرَارَ لَفِي نَعِيمٍ. Get in there. That's what's worth it. And Allah Azza wa Jal guarantees it. SubhanAllah, this is the other amazing thing. Guaranteed. Work hard towards that, Allah Azza wa Jal will give it to you. Work hard towards getting a job, who knows? Work hard to get into a particular university, who knows? This one is guaranteed. And the benefit, the ROI, the return on investment is massive. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. Many times, brothers and sisters, we get caught up in this tornado, this gravity well that is life. And Allah Azza wa Jal mentions many, many times in the Quran, it is nothing but a distraction. إِنَّمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا لَعِبٌ وَلَهْوٌ, and so on and so on and so on. Indeed, life is nothing more than just joys and laughter and connections with family. And this is what we involve ourselves with and revolve our entire lives around. But when we really think about it, when we frame things properly, then we start to see the big picture. One of the most important things for us to do is, because we forget, سُمِّيَ الْإِنسَانُ إِنسَانًا لِأَنَّهُ يَنْسَى. Indeed, mankind is called mankind, and the word for mankind in Arabic is forgetful, the forgetful. As a species, we are called the forgetful, quite literally in Arabic. And we are called that because we forget. And we lose context. And we stray all the time. And it's fine. It's how Allah Azza wa Jal created us. Even Rasulullah, he says, we go up some days, we go down some days. What's important is the down isn't here. The down isn't here. The down should be still here. And so up and down, but always an improvement. And so my up is always improving and my down is always improving. And that is only possible through dedication and through good friendship. You need the support system to constantly nudge you in the right way. I mean, maybe don't use that word. Hey, avert your gaze. Hey, maybe do whatever maybe. Right? These nudges are so incredibly important. And it requires candor, actual candor from the person, from your friend. So it's hard, it's not an easy thing to do. Imagine having to go to someone and tell them, hey, you did that poorly. It's not an easy thing to do. It takes courage and it takes bravery. And so we need to reward that bravery by accepting the message in the most beautiful way possible, as to do what? Incentivize more of it. And not just that, we ourselves need to be brave, because they need it just as much as we need it. And so by propagating that, we not only show examples of how to do it properly, but also show that, hey, I'm willing to give advice, I'm willing to take advice. Let's all get better as a community, as an ummah, not just as a small group. A lot of times you'll see this, you'll see someone doing something that perhaps isn't the greatest. Maybe they're in a bad mood. Maybe, and you tell yourself, nafsi, I don't know, they can deal with it. But that's not right, brothers and sisters. We need to reach out. I don't mean in a malicious or a difficult or hey brother, just in a soft, gentle way. So we need one another. We absolutely need one another. And the last point I'm going to say, and it's slightly unrelated to what I'm saying, is the big goal, the big amazing reveal here. When we think what is the highest thing I could possibly ask for from Allah Azza wa Jal? We say, Allahumma rzuqni nadhru ila wajhika kareem, Ya Rabb. There's not a bigger joy than I can think of than to look at Allah Azza wa Jal. There's nothing, I can't, it's incomprehensible to me. And so it's important that we remember, if this is the highest possible thing, the tool that I am using to observe that, if I'm wearing, absolutely blacked out glasses, I'm not going to see a hell lot of anything. I'm not going to see a lot of anything. So what do I need to do? I need to clean these glasses. I need to clean these glasses. These glasses were given to us as an amana from Allah Azza wa Jal. So how do we use it? Are they getting a little bit of grime? Are they getting a little bit dirty? We live in a society that it is difficult. But it is something that we must really, really pay attention to. It is something that is of absolute importance. And again, this is one of the things that a quick nudge will help. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه رب لك الحمد رب على كل شيء لك الحمد على ما أعطيت ولك الحمد على ما أمسكت لك الحمد أولا وآخرا وأبدا اللهم ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وارحمنا واجعلنا من الصالحين. Oh Allah Azza wa Jal, show us the straight path for what it is and allow us to follow it, and show us the falsehood for what it is and allow us to abstain from it. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا المرسلين وأقم الصلاة.